What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to a new mini-series on my channel. It's going to be Minecraft for Beginners. Now that music is very loud. There we go for a moment. I'm just going to turn that music off. So, this basically mini-series is going to be Minecraft for Beginners. This is assuming you're a total noob or you've just started playing the game. And basically what it's going to be is it's going to show you basic tips on how to survive and eventually how to kill the final boss. I'm not going to be showing you anything that you don't need to do to kill the final boss, because this is just going to be basic survival experience on what you need to do to survive in Minecraft. It's just going to be a little mini series. It'll only be like 5 episodes or so. We'll see, actually. So, this is assuming this is the screen you're going to get when you open up Minecraft Java Edition. That's the edition for Windows, Mac OS, and distributions of Linux. So, you've opened up Minecraft, and you're ready to start. Well, what should you do first? Before we actually start getting into worlds, I'm going to show you some basic settings you should change first. I'm going to go to Options. The very first thing I'm going to do is go to Music and Sounds. Now, I turn the music off because this is a super controversial opinion here, and I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but I actually don't really like the Minecraft soundtrack. It's just a little strange to me, and I find that it just kind of bugs me while I'm trying to play. So the first thing I did was turn off the music, but you don't have to do that. You have all your audio settings here. The first thing I'm going to turn on, now you guys don't have to do this, but I found that it helps me if I'm playing with like music in the background, or I want to have the game muted. I like showing subtitles. Now, if you're hearing impaired, then this could be very helpful for you. I only keep it on because I find that it helps me with really specific sounds when I don't want to have my volume turned on. So I'm going to keep that on. Now what I'm going to do is go to video settings. Now, this is basically objective. What you should do first, always turn brightness up to bright. It's not actually going to increase your screen brightness. All it does is allow you to see in the dark. Minecraft is a very dim game in the dark by default, but it's super easy to turn the slider all the way up to bright. I turn full screen on. I've found that it's just more fun that way, but that's totally up to you. Now, this is where things might get a little difficult. This is the render distance. Basically, a chunk in Minecraft is a 16 by 16 area of, there's actually depth to it too, but it's basically a 3-dimensional cube of terrain that is loaded currently. So if you have it set at 12 chunks, that means there are going to be 12 distant chunks loaded in each direction. The more you turn it up, the more you'll be able to see, but it's also going to take a big performance hit. The more you turn it down, the less you'll be able to see, but the higher FPS. If you're playing on a 64-bit version, which if you have a somewhat modern computer, chances are you're playing on 64-bit, it will be at 12 chunks by default. Now, I find that this is actually the perfect default render distance for my computer. Now, the specs of my computer are here on screen. If you take a look at my computer specs and your computer specs, what you should do is turn the slider up and down based on what your specs are. Or better yet, just play for a while and find what your computer handles the best. If you're playing with Optifine, which is a mod that adds a directory to Minecraft, basically what it does is it gives you many more options to choose video settings, so you can make much better tweaks to drastically increase performance. What it also does is Minecraft is a somewhat poorly optimized game. I mean, it's gotten a lot better in recent years, but it's not very well optimized. So what Optifine also does is it kind of digs into Minecraft's code. It cleans up the terrain generation. So what I find is that without even changing any video settings, if I'm playing with Optifine, I can turn it up to 16 chunks and get the same frame rate. So you should always play with Optifine. However, since this is a beginner series, I'm sticking to vanilla Minecraft, which is unmodded default Minecraft. So I'm going to set mine back to 12 chunks. But just this is actually a big difference as to how helpful it is. I found that 12 chunks is good. So anyway, enough with the video settings. Next, what you want to do is go to controls and see where it says auto jump. Turn that off. Some people find this helpful. Most people find it annoying. If I'm playing on my phone, I like to have it on. But if you're playing on a PC or a Mac, there is no reason to have auto jump on. Just press the space bar, your hand's on there anyway, and it prevents jumping when you don't want to. So I would turn that off. Everything else you can go ahead and dig through yourself. This is just going to be assuming you've opened Minecraft for the first time. You can either set up a multiplayer server with your friends or join a multiplayer server, a public one, or you can get a Realms trial and play with your friends that way. But I'm going to stick to single player. So since I've never created a world, you'll see that at first it's going to ask me to name it. So what I'm going to name it is How to YouTube, since this world is going to be showing you the basics for Minecraft. Now, the game mode, there are 3 game modes. There's survival, which is just you have to do everything yourself. You don't have resources. You have to fight monsters. There's hunger involved. There's hardcore mode, which is the exact same as survival, except if you die once, it's game over, and it's always on hardest difficulty. And creative, where you have just what it says, unlimited resources, you can do whatever you want, blow up whatever you want, build whatever you want without any limitations, and it also automatically turns on cheats, so you could play that way. But this is good if you're getting used to the controls and video settings. I'm going to stick to survival. Difficulty, there's easy, normal, hard, and peaceful. Peaceful might be good if you're starting out. Basically, it means monsters won't spawn, and all of your health will regenerate automatically when you get hurt. I'm not going to use cheats. Game rules, this is where you can change how your game works. I'm going to leave everything at default. Data packs are modifications that you can extract to a folder to change how the game works. I'm going to be leaving that as is. More world options, I should explain generating structures. If you leave this on, you'll get naturally generated structures throughout your Minecraft world, such as, like villages, dungeons, strongholds, nether portal rifts, witch huts, stuff like that. World type default is just standard terrain. A bonus chest might be good if it's your first time playing. It gives you a few starter items. The seed is a string of characters that determines how your Minecraft world will generate. So, if I were to put in a number here, then it would use that number for the terrain. But if you want it to create a brand new world, you would leave the seed blank. I want this to be a brand new world that no one's ever seen, so I don't know what I'm getting into. It will be realistic if you're starting out your world for the first time. That's all the settings that I want to have changed. I didn't really change anything, but let's go ahead and create our new world. This can take a little while because this game was coded in Java. That's why it's called Java Edition. It's like I've said, it's kind of poorly optimized in my opinion, but it shouldn't take too long. I have a moderate gaming PC, so it won't actually take that long. If you have an older computer, it might take a while, but basically, I have never seen this world before. I have no idea what's in store for me, and I'm going to just show you how to survive from there. Alright, so here I am. I landed in a forest biome, and you can see there's a little bit of a tutorial up top. Now don't worry, the lag's going to go away after a few minutes. It's always laggy at the beginning. So its basic controls: use WASD to move and use your mouse to look around. That's pretty easy. Press space to jump, left click to punch, press and hold shift to crouch. To sprint, you can either double tap W, or you can hold control and then press W, then lift up of control, and you'll still be sprinting. Press E to open your inventory. This shows everything that you're currently holding. I don't have anything because I haven't started yet, but and then a 2x2 crafting inventory at the top. So now you can see the lag's gone away. You can see we've started. We need to get to work. You can see the sun's going up. It rises in the east. It's going to set in the west, just like a normal, just like real life. So we have 10 minutes before the sun sets. Basically, we need to get started. So first, find yourself a tree. Your world, there are chances that it might look like mine, but chances are it won't look anything like mine, since this is a brand new seed that's never been generated. So the first thing you need to do when you start your Minecraft world is just punch a tree down with your fist. Don't worry, it's not going to fall down. Minecraft blocks float. There are a few that don't float, like sand and gravel. There are always a few exceptions, but not really. Okay, so now I have punched that entire tree down. What do we do now? Well, press E to open your inventory, drag your wood over to this crafting inventory, and then we need to craft our raw logs into planks. It doesn't matter what type of trees doesn't matter what type of tree, all wood acts the same. The only thing that's different is the color. So now that we've done that, now that we have our wooden planks and our raw wood, what we need to do now is actually use right-click to drag them into a 4x4 of planks to get ourselves a crafting table. Go ahead and set the crafting table down by pressing right-click, and then use right-click to interact with the crafting table, and this is going to allow us to actually get a 3x3 crafting inventory instead of a 2x2. So the first thing we need to craft are sticks. So I'm going to put some in here, and if you just click it, you'll get the resultant, and you'll have it right there. But if you shift click, you will collect everything there is to craft. So now I'm just going to craft all of our logs into planks, and what I want to do is actually draw out the recipe for a wooden pickaxe. So what do we do with this wooden pickaxe? Oh, you can see that the tree that we just punched has dropped some saplings. These saplings are good to collect if there aren't many trees nearby. It doesn't really matter for us since we're literally in a forest. But now what I want to do is actually dig down a little bit. Make sure you don't dig straight down. Just dig slightly down. What we need to collect is stone. You can see that we have this kind of rocky stuff right here. We can't punch that or else we won't get it. So go ahead and use your wooden pickaxe to collect 3 bits of stone. I've earned my first advancement, which is called the Stone Age. All you have to do is mine stone. It's probably the easiest one to get. Now what I want to do, this wooden pickaxe is basically useless to us at this point. I'm going to craft a better stone pickaxe, which will allow us to A, mine much faster, and B, actually mine more ores. So what I usually like to do is get about 30 of this stone. Sometimes I usually either dig in a straight line or just start to dig a staircase down. Make sure you don't go too far in one direction because you'll notice it's getting darker as we go down. And hostile monsters can actually spawn in dark areas. So I'm just going to dig down a little bit to get just a small amount of stone. And okay, I'd say 29 is good. Now I'm going to head back up and interact with the crafting table once again. And first is get ourselves a full set of stone tools and the one weapon. So I'm going to make a sword by using this recipe. I already have the pickaxe. I also want to make a shovel. I also want to make an axe. And there's one more that I currently want to, but I ran out of sticks, so I'm going to craft more of those first. That is the hoe. This one isn't quite as important. It's used for farming, which we probably won't do in this episode, but it's always good to have it either way. So now that we've gotten ourselves some basic tools made out of stone, we want to get ourselves more wood. I would say about 20 logs is good at the start. Like I said, it doesn't really matter what kind. All wood acts the same in Minecraft. Just chop down whatever trees you think would look better. If at all in your travels you come across some tall grass, go ahead and break it. There is a chance that you'll get wheat seeds. Wheat seeds are very important if you want to farm, and farming has multiple benefits. So I'm just going to go ahead, break some of this grass, see if I can get myself a few wheat seeds. So what I want to actually do now is, now that the sun is starting, it's not starting to go down, but it is in the westerly quadrant of the sky, I want to find some place to settle down for the night. So I want to find maybe an open flat area, or at least somewhere that I can maybe build for the night. I see some mountains over there, and those are somewhat flat, so I might actually make my way over that way. I'm just kind of jumping across the treetops. And if you do fall from too far of a height, you will take fall damage. So just go a little more this way and a little more this way. And that might be a decent place for us to start a basic shelter. Now, if you come across any animals, it might not be a bad idea to actually slaughter them. I know, it's a little cruel, but we need the food because our food bar is actually going to start to go down. So, just go ahead, slaughter a few animals. I would say 10 bits of food is good, but it really depends on what you plan to be doing. If you're following what I'm doing, basically just kind of get a little bit of food for the night. I'm going to, now that the sun is starting to, go down, we don't want to be out at night. Basically, if you're out at night, well, whether you're out at night or not, hostile monsters will spawn. Hello, doggy. Or actually, you're a wolf. Stop pushing me. He almost pushed me off the edge. Alright, so let's climb up these mountains here. I want to see, I could probably set up a basic shelter right here. You don't even really need to build a shelter. You can actually just kind of dig a hole. But, oh, you know what? If you see any of this black stuff, grab it. This is coal. You can also find it in the ground. But basically, okay, we got 2 bits there. That is going to be good for a lot of things. I'm going to jump down into the water here. Probably shouldn't have tried to take that big of a risk. If you see any sugarcane growing along a riverside, I might grab some of it too. Just never a bad idea. And if you can actually kill 3 sheep, I've killed 1, but if you can kill 3 sheep with the same color wool, then nighttime's going to be a lot less stressful because you'll actually be able to sleep. So, now I got enough wood for the night, and I'm going to show you just how to make a basic shelter. What might be a good idea is to dig into a cave and light it up, or to just dig into the ground and light it up. But basically, as long as you're boxed in, you will be safe on the first night. Looks like we have a little bit of time to get some more coal I found over here. And look at that. We have two big rivers of lava pouring down that mountain. It almost looks like it's a volcano that erupted. Volcanoes don't actually exist in Minecraft, but that's kind of what those 2 mountains look like. So I'm just going to go ahead and get a little more of this coal. Basically, what this is going to do is it's going to allow us to light up our area because we can make torches out of it. And when we light up our area with torches, we don't actually have to worry about hostile monsters. If you see any of this stuff, this is gravel. I would dig some of it. Do be careful, as if I do this, you can see it fell. Gravel is one of the very few blocks, and I mean very, very few blocks in Minecraft that is affected by gravity. You might have noticed this little black stuff that I got when I mined some of it. There is a chance that you will get, it's about a 1 in 10 chance that you'll get flint. So what you can actually do is dig as much of this gravel as you want and then just keep on digging it for later to get flint. So I've actually found a really nice area right here that I think would be a great place to make a basic nighttime shelter. So what I'm about to do, I know you hear about Minecraft and you hear about people who build amazing things. That's really not a concern for the first night. Basically, now that the sun is almost down, hostile monsters are going to start spawning, and we need to be safe from them. So, I am just digging a little hole inside of the mountain so that I can kind of have somewhere to lock myself in. Monsters cannot break blocks, so as long as you're inside of a block, you will be fine. The only exception to that is a mob called a creeper, which I'm sure if you've played Minecraft or not, I am sure you've heard of it. They're little green dudes that explode when they get close to you. But that's only if they get close to you. So you don't have to worry about it if you're just boxed in somewhere. What I do want to do is create a door so that I can actually leave my area. So I'm going to, let's see, use the little bit of planks I have left to just kind of block myself in like this. Maybe create a little more and get some of that. And actually, I'm going to put them out this way. So we're safe. We are blocked in, and I kind of put that door the wrong way, but it doesn't really matter. So to keep this area lit up and keep hostile mobs from spawning, what I'm going to do is create a few torches. You need 1 stick and 1 piece of coal, which is why it's important to find coal early on. And now we have torches. We can make sure our area is lit up. So I have enough wool to make a bed, but for the sake of this video, for the sake of the tutorial, let's assume that you didn't actually have enough wool for a bed. Obviously, you can just sleep, but if you didn't find enough sheep to make a bed, I'm going to show you what you can do to keep yourself busy during the nighttime. Because although it's very dangerous to be outside until you've gotten yourself some armor and a shield, there is still stuff you can do inside safely at night, which is what I'm going to show you. This is just going to be a basic house for me so I can survive this first night. I'm going to place a few torches just to keep it lit up. And I do believe my brightness is on bright. So remember when I said earlier how important it is to keep your brightness at bright? Well, let's say I turned it down. Look how much darker it is. And like you can see, you can barely see anything outside. Like that, you can barely see anything. If I were to turn it to bright, much better. Now I can see way into the distance. So that's just why I prefer to have it on bright. Alright, so now what I want to do is, you know how I got a lot of this cobblestone earlier? What I want to do is actually create a few furnaces. Furnaces are the main way that you cook food, as among other things. So, remember when I said to kill animals earlier to get food? Well, I could just eat this, I could just eat the sheep mutton raw, right? But you'll notice it only filled up one hunger bar. If we want food to be more nourishing, which I don't know why you wouldn't want it to be more nourishing, it's important that you put a piece of coal as your fuel source in the furnace and start cooking your food. Now, it does take a little while, and it's important to know that one piece of coal cooks 8 pieces of anything you put in there, whether it's ores, whatever you put in there, one piece of coal will do 8. Now, you can use other sources of fuel. I just find coal to be one of the most efficient, and since we have 9 pork chops from the pigs, I'm going to put 2 in. So now that our food is cooking and we know we're going to be safe from the monsters, I'm going to start digging down, kind of like I did before. If I do this, I can find things like iron. Now, there's actually some dirt right here, which is I always find better to use a shovel for. And basically, make sure to keep it lit up. So every few steps you go down, place a torch just to make sure mobs won't spawn in here when it gets dark. And I kind of just like to start digging downwards because there are several ores. It just looks like there's stone right now. But if you actually explore down here a little bit, there's actually a lot of good stuff you can find. This is diorite. This white stuff, this is diorite. It's a block that is used for building and decoration, not much else. Some people really like it. I personally am not a huge fan of it, but it's whatever you want to do. And now that my pickaxe broke, what I want to do is actually make a new stone pickaxe. I was kind of hoping to discover some iron, which, believe me, you would. You'll know iron when you see it. It's orange. It's kind of copperish. Oh, more coal is always good. I'm always all about finding more coal. That was a block of andesite that I just broke, which is also used as a decoration / building block. Not really much more use than that. This coal vein is pretty big, which is good because you do want to get a decent amount of this stuff. It's very, very valuable at the beginning of the game. It kind of becomes less valuable as you build more stuff because there's less stuff to light up, but at the beginning of the game, I would advise that you collect as much of this stuff as you see. Here I have come across another building block called Granite. It's this kind of, you kind of know what granite looks like. Again, like diorite and andesite, it's only used for building. In decoration. There's really not much else people use it for. You know, I was really hoping I was going to find some iron, but I think that's because I'm on top of a mountain and iron only generates at levels sea level or below, and since I built up a little bit, I'm kind of in a mountain, so it actually is I'm gonna have to dig quite a bit longer to find iron, but that's okay. Oh, I just heard a skeleton. See that subtitle that says skeleton rattles? That's how you know the hostile mobs are nearby. So I'm gonna just briefly open my door to check things outside. Oh, look we have so many creepers. There's a skeleton over there. We have more creepers over there. So many hostile mobs out here. That is why it's so vitally important that you stay inside. I say as I break my door. I'm only doing this because it's bothering me that I have it placed the wrong way. There we go. That was... It's just kind of an OCD thing. But, yeah. So, it's still kind of nighttime. What I want to do is actually craft a chest because my inventory is indeed going to fill up eventually. And it's not smart to carry too much of... like too many valuable items in your inventory at once, because if you die and that stuff gets lost, you might never get it back. So it's just a good idea to craft a chest so you can put all your excess stuff. You have to make sure that you have blocks above the chest, like open like this, so that you can open it. For example, if I were to place diorite above it, I can't actually open the chest. That's kind of what I meant. I'm just going to shift click. You could drag the items in manually, but I prefer to shift click because it gets everything in there a lot faster. Only keep the basic stuff in my inventory, like my food. I have my pickaxe, my torches. There's really nothing else I would need. Oh, that's the skeleton hurting. Oh, that's because it's daytime. That skeleton is hurting because multiple mobs, not all of them, but a lot of mobs start burning during the daylight, kind of like vampires. Stuff like zombies, skeletons, they will start to burn, and they just die in the daytime. So now, once you start hearing that, I would give them a little while, and then go outside. But be very cautious, because, ooh, we still have creepers. Not today, not today, sir. What I might actually do before I go outside is, still mine down just a little bit more to see if I can start getting to the level that has iron and other types of ores. I guess you really shouldn't do what I did. You should always start digging down at sea level, kind of ground level, because I thought iron would generate in mountains too, but I guess you really have to get pretty low to start getting iron. But that was my mistake. Ooh, now I don't know if you guys heard it with the volume or if you saw in the subtitles, but it said lava pops. Yup, there it is. That means there is a cave nearby. Just because we're digging underground, we're safe right now since we're underground and there are no mobs that's lit up. But if we dig into a dark cave, like we just did, oh, here we are. You can see there's where that lava is. Do not play like you're safe anymore, because now, let's see, I am at, you press F3 to see the screen. I was at the, Y coordinate for, iron a long time ago, but still haven't found one. But anyway, I'm at level 28 right now. I think it's level 64 and below that you start to see iron. Do not dig any of this gravel, because if you do, it'll start to fall down. Now we have a lava pit right here. If you fall in this without armor, it's pretty much instant death. So I'm going to try to start building to make it a little safer. There's really nothing this way, so this was basically all there was in this cave. So what I'm going to do is actually continue digging down to Y level 11. I'm really surprised I haven't found any iron yet, but I guess that it do be like that sometimes. Ah, we found it. We found iron. Finally. This took way longer than it should have. Okay, make sure you have a stone pickaxe, and then you need to start mining it. Alright. Finally, this took way longer than it usually does. But with randomly generated worlds, that's how it works. Oh, that's a big vein of iron. Hey, it's trying to make it up to me by giving me a really huge vein of iron. Oh, there's even more. Oh my gosh. Okay, game, I forgive you. That was a lot of iron. Let's see, how much was that? 17. Okay, that's good. Now, I'm going to head all the way back up to my base. Now, this cave was actually pretty lit up, but do be wary, as a lot of the times caves are much bigger and much darker. If it wasn't for the lava, it would be dark and there would be mobs spawning everywhere, which is why I always carry plenty of torches around me. And that was actually the perfect time to find that iron too, because my pickaxe was about to break. You can see there's hardly any durability left. What I want to do is press F3 and H. That turns on advanced tooltips, and it shows you how much durability I had left. See, I only had 1 durability left, so that ended up being the exact perfect amount of iron. And here we are back at the top of my base. What I want to do is split up my iron between these 2 chests and start cooking it up. So I'm going to get a coal out of the chest. Let's see, I had 9 in this hand, so that's going to be 2 pieces of coal. And then I had 8 in this hand, so that's going to be 1 piece of coal. Now, it's the second day, and we can start to head outside. Again, assuming it hasn't already become nighttime again yet. No, it has not. Okay, so what I actually want to start by doing is planting some of the saplings that I got beforehand. This will allow more trees to grow. And I'm also, we got a new type of tree. This is a spruce tree. It has much darker wood. It's the second darkest color of wood in the game besides dark oak. But, yeah, I do want to start getting some of this. Oh, and this is dropping some saplings too. And I'm going to plant this sapling too, just so we have wood. Let's see, we have snowy mountains up here. I just honestly just want to check out what's on the side. Like what's on this side, if it might be a better place to set up our camp. Let's see, we do have an opening to a cave right there. Don't go in there because that will probably have some mobs in it. I just want to see what we have this way. It looks like we have more forest area, and it looks like we have more mountain area over here. Okay, so things are basically looking the exact same. I was kind of hoping that we would find an open plains area. That because with open plains, there is the chance for naturally generated structures called villages to spawn or generate, which it's not technically necessary to beat the game, but I would want to explain them since they're very helpful. So what I'm actually going to do real quick is turn up my render distance to 32 chunks. It's going to make my game start lagging like crazy, but I just want to see if there's anything beyond, kind of see if there's anything out here, an area that I might want to actually set up in. Oh, is that a plains area out there? I think that might be an open plains area. So I'm going to... Oh, the game's lagging, but I do see it. Yup, there is an open grassy plains out this way. And I find that plains biomes are great places to build your camp. So you know what? After tonight, the sun's starting to go down. After tonight, we're going to actually go ahead and make our way that way. So I'm going to turn my render distance back down to 12 chunks and check on our iron and show you what we have to do with it. A quick lesson about pigs or any animals is that as long as you leave at least 2 of them, you can repopulate and breed them to get an infinite source of food. But since I'm not going to be setting up my camp here, I really don't mind if I slaughter them all because there will be plenty more pigs and animals over there. We have a chicken here, so I can get that. And, yeah, I'm actually going to call it the end of an episode. We're going to start off the next episode by explaining what to do with that iron we just found. And then we're going to be moving our camp over that way. So let's go ahead and get our iron. And I'm going to put some of this stuff in here to start cooking. But yeah, guys, we're going to call that an episode. That is how you survive. That's how you start Minecraft. This is kind of your, just a somewhat standard base. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.